Sounds good.
F it, Chimera. We're going live. We're going live. Chimera.
Yes.
Great to be with you, man. Great to be with you.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been too long. And all this time I've been wondering, what the hell is a chimera? But of course I call you Chimera. Chimera.
Wait, so you do know my real name. You just pronounce it wrong on purpose.
Well, Chimera is not your real name.
Okay. Well, how do you know?
It's nobody's real name. It's nobody's
Could
real
be.
name.
It could be.
It can't be. It can't actually be anybody's real name.
It could be. It's my preferred pronoun.
Gable. Whoa. Gable Pennyshot says, "Hail Chimera, hail the postman." Hey, Gable, how are you doing? Do you know what a chimera is or what chimera actually is? And we don't really know.
I like Adam Postal more.
Adam Postal. Adam Postal is pretty funny.
Yeah, you'll go.
I do admit it.
One day. You'll just snap.
I'll snap. Yep. I will. I came close. It's happened before. But just people don't usually see it because I'm not usually live when I do that. What the hell is a chimera? Well, it's always fun to hang out with Chimera. Word on the street was you were going to be the new Nasser. Were you in training for that? How did you work that out? Hail Zaid!
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. I think it's just my monotone voice.
I don't know if this guy's a mythical animal or not. I've never seen him alive before. He could be a mythical animal. Are we going to kick Chimera? That is a great idea. Kick Chimera. All right, now we can get serious. No, wait, hold on a second. We're supposed to be talking about Chimera's thing here. You're back. You're back. I just like Johnny's idea of kicking Chimera. What did Zaid say that was good? Phil said, "Hail the postman." Good. Phil says, "I know what a chimera is." I'm not sure if he does. We'll have to see. Bing, bang, boom. Are we going to kick Chimera? We already kicked him, thank God. Oh, we brought him back. All right, it's not so bad. Winged lion and with a snake tail. Not necessarily. A chimera is it a human and an animal, or is it two animals mixed together?
Depends, but usually it's just a lion.
It could be both. Like, is a minotaur a chimera?
No, because that's just
that's effing minotaur.
Yeah, it's just a dude in a bowl mixed together.
So if I mixed you up with a duck, would that make you a chimera?
No, that'd be the logo for StreamYards.
You'd be a logo for StreamYards. Eric Brand says, "Evening, gents. What have we here?" Eric, it's good to see you. Thank God you're here. We're trying to figure out what the hell a chimera is. Chimera goes by this name, Chimera. I call him Chimera. I don't think it's his real name. I don't know if he was born like this. We're working on it. We're trying to figure it out. What do you mean a scorpion tail? Somebody effing Google it. It's not that. A chimera is like some freak combination animal.
Yeah.
You did a book called Division 6. This is why you're calling yourself Chimera. You should just go by I like the new Nasser. I like the new Eric. Thanks again. That was very nice. I like the new Nasser nickname. But you did a book called Division 6 4 years ago.
Yeah, I came up with the concept back in 2014 when I was in college, and I self-published it back in 2016, 2017. And the monsters in there were called chimeras. And when I was trying to figure out how to be anonymous, I just used it as my pen name.
I like what Eric Brand has to say. Any combination of two unique genetic patterns. So according to Eric, I'm right, and you are just not as informed, perhaps, as Eric Brand. It's possible. I think he's right. I think it could be a person, but it doesn't have to be a person.
Well, you did see my face backstage, so am I a combination of human and animal?
I only saw you from the waist up, so I don't know what's. Yeah, a dry answer, but true. No, I think that was pretty good. I think it was pretty much on the money right there. Part lion, part Nasser.
Oh,
yeah. How did you? So Nasser is. He did a campaign recently. Did not fund. Did not work out. The whole thing is like people think that anti-CG is going to really just get you attention and make you money somehow. It's just not. Really, the only thing that anything that seems to work is anti-SJW stuff.
He might have gotten funded if he did not blockbot everybody. You know,
Johnny Cage is very angry with you, I think, possibly. You should know what you are, damn it. That's the kind of thing I would say. Thank you, Johnny Cage. Dry Design says a chimera is a monster from Greek mythology, you bastard. It has a lion's body, a lion's head, a goat head, and its tail is a snake. All right, that's closer to what Zaid said. But I really like Eric's explanation, how it's just basically it's a combination of two genetic patterns. What's a Nasser? What's a Nasser? A Nasser is something that could have been much more in life. It had just listened to what Ethan Van Sciver said to do. The thing is, if Ethan Van Sciver gives people if he gives any general advice, I always try to follow it. If he ever gives me direct advice, which he does sometimes, I absolutely always follow it because he knows what he's talking about. But also, if he ever directly takes the time to give somebody advice, that means he's going to use his resources, his platform, his good intentions in one small way, or maybe not such a small way, to make it true. Nobody likes to be wrong. So I'm always like this. If Ethan wants you to do something, it's never harmful. Just freaking do it.
Well, the advice is pretty easy. Don't shit on customers. Don't block them, and try to take constructive criticism.
But sometimes he says things like, listen, you need to talk about your project more. He told me that. What else did he say?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, this or that. I mean, but, it's just worth it. It's worth it. Hail, Doomsday Kingdom fan community. Hail, Adam. Hail, chat, says Doomsday Kingdom, which is going to be a graphic novel soon. Doomsday Kingdom. A very cool zombie one. What's the best advice that EVS hasn't given anybody yet? Give us the scoops. No, he tells everybody. He's really not keeping secrets. He keeps up this enthusiasm for what he's doing. This is something like that's just good for all of us, is you keep up your enthusiasm for what you're doing by making the kind of things that you want to see. So he's, brought back Chromium. He just decided, well, I'm going to bring back Chromium covers. He wanted to do it. He wanted to see what his character would look like as a Chromium cover. He knew it would be cool. So he just made it happen. And then everybody's thrilled with it. And it just came out fantastic. I really liked your original SOS book. So this is not a sequel to it, but this is a spin-off character. I just want to look at your original one for a second.
Sure thing.
So Chimera, now I don't know exactly what your deal is, because all I know is that you have this strange name for yourself, but Canales,
yep,
who work with Richard C. Meyer on Iron Sights, right?
Yep. We have been trying to make SOS since like June 2018. So, yeah.
So you made this graphic novel, SOS.
Yep.
Yeah. I really like that color. That's not Canales' color, right?
No, that's Kim Jacinto. He works at Marvel, and he did a cover for me.
So very fancy. And is that his cover?
Yeah, that's Kim.
Canales?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, no, that's Kim Jacinto.
It's nice work. And you had Alejandro
Mirabal do the variant cover.
Nice covers. And these books shipped already.
Yep. Some people in the UK got their books. I'm still waiting on Canada. For whatever reason, that seems to be the holdout.
What do you mean? What happened with Canada?
It's just taken a while for the books to get up there because they're in Canada. They're at a center for fulfillment.
Oh, they're kind of holding them. Okay.
Yeah. I assume for containment or decontamination.
Story is too hot to get out to Canada. How many pages was this book?
This was 80 story pages, and there was some bonus material at the back.
Okay. Closed with 80 backers. You end up with 126. But this is not that long ago. This is like it closed December 2019. Okay. Well, I guess it is May now, but still.
Yeah.
It's not that long ago.
Yeah, I kept it in demand until March.
Oh, this is no longer available?
Yeah, it's available on Onslaught with the same cover as a featured perk.
All right. Pretty cool. So this is okay. So this was a big project, but this isn't even the first thing you ever did. So the first thing you did is something called Division 6.
Yeah, that was on an indie site that called Comics Central, and that's actually shut down because they ran out of money. Interestingly enough.
Adam doesn't know what to think about me yet. Does that make me quasi Chimera? Yes, you're quasi Chimera. You're in the Chimera group. Just listen to Teach It. Listen to Ethan on anything but his diet. Yes, well, he doesn't recommend that other people eat what he eats. I was glad to see that he took the Entenmann's Donuts recommendation and ate the 8 Entenmann donuts when he made his $800,000. That seemed like it was the right thing to do.
Yeah, that campaign.
Oh, this is a great question. Blue Samurai Zero. He's curious what creatures you're made from.
An Irish mother and a German father.
And a beefy bull. Do you know what beefybull.com is?
Oh God.
Have you guys all been to beefybull.com? It's a great place to meet the kind of men you'd like to meet. If you go to, well, never mind. Who knows what you'll find on beefybull.com. Never mind. Beefybull.com is a whole other story. No, beefybull.com is just Joe from Slaughter Squad is launching in 2 weeks.
Nice.
And yeah, that's his website. You can sign up at his mailing list. Hail all Hex Allen comics. Good to see you. All right, so you published that on some indie site? Was it a web comic or something?
Yeah, they only did digital, and I asked them back in like 2017, 2018 when they were doing physical. And I think they tried to run something on Kickstarter and didn't go well, and eventually just shut down.
Okay. All right. And you're not going to put that back in print? Is that part of this universe or?
No, it's not part of the universe, but I did rewrite. I did rewrite a good chunk of it, so that comic will appear in the future.
Okay.
Yeah, depends on funding.
Teddy Z in the place to be. What's up? Everything is up. Everything is up, Ted Zagaro. Great to see you, man. Great to see you. Wait, someone else is asking exactly the same thing. What's up? Okay. Oh, it's the Itchy guy. Yeah. I remember him from earlier today. Good guy. He's working on a project soon too. You know what I was telling him? You did this. Do you have a sign-up list for this? Did you do a sign-up list to get email addresses?
Yeah, I did a newsletter. I was offering a $5 discount.
All right. How did that work out for you?
Better than the last time. I got like 50-something signatures in just a few weeks. So, not bad. Yeah,
it helps. It helps when you're launching a project to do the pre-launch page, because that way you kind of get everybody focused. Like, hey, I'm going to launch on June 1st or whatever the date's going to be. Hey, everybody sign up to the mailing list. They start thinking about it. You can give them a discount, or you can give them a free trading card. People doing like a foil trading card, which is probably, I'm going to guess, like $75 or something if you order and you're also on the email list. And if not, like I did it with College of the Dead. It was helpful for me for College of the Dead graduation day. And I didn't wind up having anything special to give people. It was just like, hey, we're launching this day, and people kind of wanted to know. But it is fun to come up with something extra special to kind of give people.
Yeah. Next time, I think I'll do a trading card for those who sign up for the newsletter, because I think people want extra goodies.
Hail Gaming.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like people are exactly trying to save $5, you know?
Yeah.
Gable Pennyshot says, you gents should do a review of SGM's campaign. Sean Grove Murphy. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that one. It's a good point of view. I actually haven't looked at it yet.
It's pretty bad.
Is it?
Yeah, he doesn't have any art on the content. He has it all in the thumbnails. So.
Oh, really? He has no art in it?
He does, but you have to like click on the little thumbnails. He doesn't have it in like the body of the page.
Is it called plot holes?
Yeah, on the title.
Let's see your expert Chimera advice. We will take it. Because you've done a couple campaigns now, so you can criticize. Why not? F him. Does it matter? You know, just because he made more money than both of us doesn't mean that he knows what he's doing.
Oh, he would have made money no matter what.
Right. Plot holes. Now, does he have bisexual lighting in there? It looks a little bisexually.
Looks a little blue.
A little bit of pink and blue. A little bit of pink and blue going on.
Not too crazy about the title.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see the logo, too.
Yeah.
But maybe it's almost like that's intentional. We don't want you to see the logo.
Yeah, there's literally just like a wall of text. There's no art.
All right, I see the text. Well, they've got this art. Yeah. And they've got more art up here. You have to kind of, that's the same art. It doesn't really tell me anything. This guy looks like he's gender something. I feel like a gender something tiger. He's not like a traditional. Yeah. Who's this little guy? This is like from Calvin and Hobbes. What's he doing there?
He has a machine gun, so I guess Calvin went crazy.
He has a machine gun? Yeah. Oh, is that what this is? Okay. A really tiny machine gun.
He would have made money. It's Sean Gordon Murphy.
Plot Holes is a book for everyone, designed to celebrate comics creators and the okay. This really looks like a Kickstarter project.
Yeah,
because it's just got like that aimless, I can make any kind of comic I want and you can't stop me kind of look.
I'm not really sure what the story is about. I mean, there's just
from fan favorite comic creator Sean Murphy, not Gordon Murphy. Okay, comes an all new tale of action and adventure. Wow, that really doesn't tell you anything.
Yep, there's no art.
Hardcover. Wow.
I got the last perk for the Skype call.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Wow. So you're going to have a Skype chat with him.
Yeah, next year, January 2021.
That's kind of silly. Be drawn in. All right. You know what the big lesson on this is? Because he's got a following, people want to be involved.
Yeah.
All of his big dollar stuff sold out like crazy. Original art, art, and original art and book. So $500 a page sold out, like I think immediately. I think he sold it out the first day. So it's 500 times 50 pages is 25 grand. Drawn into Plot Holes, 10 out of 10. So that's $4 grand. Skype chat. Why'd you do the Skype chat?
See what his advice is. Maybe I can make a YouTube stream out of it or something.
All right. Yeah. Don't tell him you're recording it. Good idea. Original art, chapter break art, $5,000, 1 of 4. Yeah, that is a good idea. That's like a kind of like a cover. So, okay, he's got 4 of those. Full boat, hardcover, soft cover, AE, whatever that is. Probably would have seen if we'd gone up higher. And some prints. A retailer pack. Okay, I don't know what retailer is going to fucking do with this, but okay, they'll have it. Hardcover artist edition. Yeah, I mean the only problem he's got is if you look at really what he sold a lot of these soft covers too. This represents about $20,000 worth of sales out of the 120. He's got no featured tier. The thank you for $1 is like, why this isn't on Kickstarter, I have no idea. It's like very Kickstarter. The whole thing is like designed for Kickstarter. Yeah. AE is an artist edition. Thank you, Hierenberg. Hey, it's Jetsabel. Hey, Jetsabel. Good to see you. Yeah, my take on it is I don't know why these people can't just like take the advice that Ethan tries to give people, because he could have really helped the guy do a lot better. He's not going to do terrible. He's going to do just fine. But he was worried about making too much money in the first place. If you remember that video, like he's concerned that all of his friends were telling him it wasn't a good look to make money.
Well, all his friends sound like socialists. So
I don't get it. It's Miller.
He needs new friends. That's what he needs.
Gable has provided a lot of interesting statements tonight. Gable says, I actually liked his first run on White Knight. This one just doesn't seem that interesting. Yeah, it's just freaking, it's just odd. It's like a little disturbing. It's like, I can't get a hold of like, what is this project? It's just all an indulgence of one random adventure story to the next by this guy? Kind of. And no featured tier.
But
we got to get Ethan or Zach drawn into it from CG Oracle. That would be funny to do a drawn in tier and be like, here, draw Ethan in. But Ethan doesn't want to be drawn into comics. He was saying that earlier, but he expects that he's going to be drawn in pretty much everywhere. Anyway,
speaking of featured tiers,
Ethan will be a 2-pager. Oh, because he's big. That's kind of funny. That is pretty funny. Number 1 Marvel fan, comic book retailer, and all-around great guy. Good to see you. Blue Samurai 0. Top 3 tiers are 33 grand total, enough to print the book before selling any copies. Good observation. Yeah, I mean, look, when you're publishing or doing anything in business, you always want to cover the costs and deal with the problems first. You know, like, all right, we need this much money to get it printed, shipped and done. We want to cover those numbers. So yes, you want to cover your bases. If that's what his strategy was, then, it worked. And he did well, though, selling the original art. That was great. You can see it's got to be at least a couple of hundred hardcore people who are will support whatever he does. But like Ethan kind of proved, he has more hardcore people because Ethan's $200 box sets for Cyber Frog Wreck Planet were fantastic. He sold so many of those damn things. Baz correctly says the postman delivers. I absolutely do. What's the SOS featured tier at Adam Post? Damn it, Zayd Comics. Have you not paid attention? There is. Come on, Phil. Where's your Magic Cop? No, not you shipped it, of course. But what I mean is, no, man, he didn't even have a featured tier. It's like he designed the whole thing for Kickstarter. Or this guy, Jeffrey, whoever, Martin or someone who's publishing it for him, must have like designed it for Kickstarter. But then why is it on Indiegogo? I don't understand. It's kind of disturbing. That's how you know he's not going to go in demand, because it'd be like, in demand, what the hell's that? Demand is when you get onto Kickstarter and then Indiegogo, and then you keep your campaign on there so you can keep selling them. What's the SOS featured tier? All right, well, that's my fault. Sorry, Zayd Comics. What is your featured tier? Let's talk about you.
Sure. So it's
we know what a Chimera is. Now let's talk about your featured tier. Thank you, Phil. That was helpful.
Yeah, so it's SOS Onslaughts plus
SOS Onslaught plus Volume 1.
Yep. It's about 66 pages for Onslaught and 80 pages for Volume 1, so it's about 140.
66 pages.
Yeah, it's about 3 individual issues put into like a nice trade format.
Wow. When you say 3 individual issues, now Onslaught's been published before?
No. I just like having the story in like 3 individual issues.
Oh, broken up as if they're 3 issues. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Inside.
And this isn't a sequel Onslaught to SOS, but it's kind of a spinoff.
Yeah, it's a spinoff, and it takes place in the 90s. So kind of
like a prequel kind of deal.
Yeah, it's more of a standalone story
that took place before.
Yeah.
Like a prequel.
Well, it doesn't reference anything that happens in the main series. So
thank goodness Phil helped us out. Thank you, Phil. A lot of love for Phil. Eric Brad says, sorry. Oh, something about College of the Dead. We know what a Chimera is, or do we? Yes, we know what it is. It's some sort of freaking monstrous creature. SGM explained in an interview with Newsarama he didn't want to do a Kickstarter because their gatekeeper talked smack on him in the past, but she's gone as of today. Yeah, they threw her out. Yeah, she did not bring in a lot of business. I did a video on her earlier. What a weird woman she was, and what a weird thing for a business to do, to be so indulgent as to hire someone who's not even trying to make money for the company. You can never not hire people who are not trying to make money for the company. I mean, especially not in a position of like outreach, trying to bring people in to do projects on the platform. Like they have to be, in business, you don't even want customers that are not going to make you money. There are problem customers. So bringing people in, you always want to treat customers well, but there can be maniac customers. If there's a customer you can't please or a customer you can't profitably serve, whether you're a restaurant or whatever kind of business you are, you should appreciate their interest, but then direct them to someone who you think you can serve them better. Because you really have to focus all your energies on taking care of the customers that you can do a good job of taking care of. But that said, if you're doing outreach for the biggest crowdfunding platform, kind of in the world, you should be targeting people where you can make money from the business relationship. Like she didn't reach out to Marvel and try to do like a special Spider-Man crowdfunded book, which they probably would have done. She didn't reach out to DC for a Batman book. They even had a relationship with IDW for like tabletop games, and they didn't try to do comics for their comic section. It's just unbelievable bad business. All right, let's go through the rest of your tier since we're on the kind of tier rant right now. Sure. Onslaught Digital, how dare you sell digital?
Yeah, John Malin chastised me.
How dare you sell digital?
Well, if you're worried about getting the dreaded coof, I can just send you a PDF.
I think that Magic Cop might take this one-time assassin gig and try to track you down. But if you want digital, you can get digital. And occasionally, a little digital is not a bad thing. occasionally. SOS Onslaught book. All right, so this is the regular book just by itself.
Correct.
Very cool. And this is a 66-page book. It's black and white. It's already done, right?
Yeah, we're 58 pages in, so we're almost done.
Excellent. Shipping August.
Yep.
Onslaught book plus pinup.
Yep.
Now, when people say plus pinup, do they do that just to upset me?
No, that's a term. It's basically like a print. It's what
now because that's the thing. Like Zach has to think about this sometimes. Is like it's not setting a good example because I don't know what a pinup is. You know, I can imagine what a pinup is, but I don't know. Like it's a poster. It's a certain size. You know, I've asked people sometimes like, what size is the pinup? And they're like, I don't know yet. It's like, well, what do you mean? You got to know, man. You're printing it. We're selling it. So, all right. Sorry to put you on the spot, but so what size is this pinup print?
It'll probably depend on my printer. I'm actually having a proof.
If everything worked out well, what size would you want it to be? 2840, like a movie poster size?
No, that's too big. I'd have to check with my printer.
What up, Simon Jared? My brother's first name is your last name, Simon. Unless you're Jared Simon, then it would be the same.
It's basically a small poster, yeah, like someone said, about 11 by 17.
We'll check that out later. 11 by 17?
Yeah.
All right, so we hope it's 11/17. The pinup poster, the print. Onslaught plus print is what it kind of is. But then you'll get them folded, right?
Yeah, and the pinup is by Iba Canales, so I wanted him to get involved some way, but
I love Canales.
Yeah, he was pretty busy, so I just had him do a pinup of the Countess, who's basically the main villain.
And it's this little tiny picture right here, but is it also on here? Somewhere?
No, I go to updates.
I like this guy. Wait, where is this guy? The one I use?
Oh.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah, it's funny because he only lasts that page. He gets killed on the very next page. That's a spoiler.
Oh, you ruined it for me. Well, I'd like to see his prequel. He must have had a really interesting life before then.
Yeah, no idea. I just tried to come up with some assassins, and I thought who would be interesting characters.
Let's go Voodoo guy. Voodoo is interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to judge him or anything, but he looks a little voodoo to me. You know, that's what I kind of... Is he a voodoo guy?
He was.
I still feel racist about it. Well, he died in the 90s, so he's long gone. So he can't come after me.
Maybe.
Don't drop spoilers on the campaign promo. But if you want to see a voodoo guy die, back Chimera's SOS book. No spoilers. Oh, see that? They actually everybody cares. Adam Post, baby. What up? Warzard.
Yeah,
Lord. How you doing, brother?
Under updates, I actually posted the pinup, so we can go to that.
Let's be realistic and serious right now.
Sure.
Digital is the only way some of us can have the books for sure. The Postal Service in any country would either destroy the books or steal them, or in your country. Well, that's actually good to know, Johnny. I'm glad I took that seriously. I don't know what country that is. I don't like them doing that, but there's probably not a lot I can do about it, as influential as I am. So I'm going to think perhaps a little differently about digital. Maybe I will do some digital now. I was thinking I might actually have some digital because I have like 50 spoof comics, these female parody books that we did in the early 1990s. And there's like 1,000 pages. It's like 50 comics. So we're not going to reprint all of that. So it may just like a digital collection or something might be the right thing. But a lot of people keep asking me about that. I want to do it just so I can give Phil a copy of the one book that I did that he really wants, which is a parody of Lobo called Hobo. Some hot girl version of Lobo. Yeah, it's kind of funny. It was really good. They did a great job, all those creators.
So you did a lot of parody comics back in the day?
I did a lot of everything.
Okay.
Except not a lot of superhero comics, actually. Everything but a lot of superhero. But yeah, we did a lot of spoofs. But I think a digital collection of that would be the most appropriate thing. So, all right, we got Onslaught plus pinup, and we've got the original art Bisley cover.
Yep.
How did this kind of come to be? You just kind of reached out to him and said, hey, you want to do a cover?
Yeah, I was trying to find how to track this dude down, and so I found
Oh.
berserkerart.com at like 2 in the morning. I emailed them. They emailed right away, and I was able to get a commission about a month later from him for painting, and actually had the painting, so I can sell that and package it up ASAP.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What made you seek him out?
Yeah, I just wanted like a fancy cover. Everybody gets the Ethan Van Sciver cover for their comic, and so
Not everybody. You can't
well,
get it. It's just like has to be like a random lucky thing. Is like that. It's just perfect. The timing is perfect. But I would love one. I mean, I think he's great. I reached out to him once about it. I'm like, I don't want to bother him about this because he's so incredibly busy. He loves Hobo. Yeah, Hobo was really funny. I'm gonna do that for you, Phil. Make it happen. You can't write her. Max Santiago says, "Hey, chat." Zayd rocks. Yeah, Zayd has got another book coming up called Lost Pages, which is really cool. It's going to have superheroes. It's going to have somebody called Silhouette. That's as much as I got. And Zayd's book is launching on May 29th. So we will watch for that. Zayd Comics is next. But yeah, it's so cool to see everybody working on comics like this. How is it that now? So you're doing comics. You obviously have another job too, because you're a professional guy of some kind. You have more stuff that you're planning past this book?
Yeah, I got volumes 2 to 4. Canals can do 1 volume per year, which is fine. Volume 2 will be a little bit less pages than Volume 1 because that's just kind of how the storyline worked out. So it'll be around 56 pages next year. And I have a secret project. Still working on it.
Yeah, postal office, post service. You know, we got to rely on the mail. There's not a lot we could do about that. All right, so you have another SOS book coming. And SOS, what is the whole SOS world about? Like, give us a feel for what that is.
Well, the main series is about 3 brothers who were former super soldiers during World War II, and they're immortal, so they don't age. So they pretty much have been around for 2,000 years. And so they take on supernatural threats, but also bad guys.
I'm sorry. It's good when people pick apart, like when we say crazy things, just like saying words. So Blue's like, I said you're a professional guy, as in you're a guy professionally, like you get paid for it. Maybe you do get paid for it.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot more coming from Zayd. A lot more coming. He's gonna overload you. You're gonna be Zayded up. You're gonna love it.
So basically, SOS is a satirical world. There's supernatural, there's aliens, there's robots, there's bad guys, and the 3 brothers set up a business to, help the people of New York City, but for a price, if you can afford them. Kind of like Ghostbusters meets Spawn is the best way to explain it.
With some A-Team mixed in?
No. Not. It's a little 80s.
That's exactly what they said. The A-Team, if you can afford to pay them, then you can get help. It's the A-Team. Then the music starts. You didn't see that?
Yeah, I know of the A-Team.
Are you a gigolo? Is that where all the money comes to pay Canales?
Oh.
We just outed you. For a good time at Chimera. You're on Twitter, but that's not your Twitter name, is it?
Nope.
Okay, they prefer escort. All right, so maybe you should put that in some kind of a tier. For a good time, like, above the Bisley cover. Or maybe include it with the Bisley cover. Maybe, $2,000 is pretty good. If you can get $2,000.
Yeah, I couldn't price it any lower beyond that.
All right.
And to kind of elaborate on this.
Plus travel.
Yeah, and to elaborate on this is the spinoff. So it has one of the brothers from the main series, and he teams up with the Vigilante. And the Vigilante takes on monsters. He does it for free, though. He's almost like Punisher or Blade in some regard.
Wait, which guy's the Vigilante?
Scroll down, the guy in body armor.
All right, the body armor. Hold on a second. I'm glad we figured out what a Chimera is.
Yeah, that's Vigilante in the body armor.
This guy with the knife?
Yeah, wrist blade, yeah.
Wrist blade.
Yep.
Does it retract?
Yeah, it's almost like Wolverine. Still makes the
Hmm.
same sound effect, shneak or whatever.
Okay, that's handy.
Yeah,
He's
and
got a
basically,
great.
and to elaborate on him, he's been around. He's immortal as well, and he's been around for 1,000 years, or give or take. And he's just been taking down monsters and bad people.
How is
So
it that he's alive for 1,000 years?
I will actually show you. Let me share my screen because I got some art today.
All
And
right.
it's a good time
This
to
is going
show
to
it.
explain how he's around 1,000 years.
Yeah, this is him. He gets captured, and he has a flashback to when he was experimented on by
Oh,
alchemists, and he went a little berserk on them and
this
slashed them.
never happened in the A Team.
Nope, this round 1066, he was mortally wounded, and they used him as an experiment, and it made him immortal. And
You may have a customer here, but maybe contact him directly so that we don't get in trouble. Wait, what happened? Did you just unshare your screen?
yeah, I just was wondering what you were showing. What are your rates?
Nemesis wants to hire you for escort services, I think, or maybe send you to a friend as a gift. That's possible. Love Pigeon says, caw caw, as Love Pigeon often does. Bernie free. I don't know what that means, but something to probably do with the escort service thing. Share the page again. We have to know. 1,000 years. How did he get this old? He's not dead. There was experiments. One more time. Now we'll pay attention. Okay.
Yeah, he had the slash mark, so he was almost killed in the Battle of 1066. Some alchemists grabbed him and used him as an experiment, and it actually went well and made him immortal, and then it made him go crazy.
Oh.
Killed them all.
Yeah, alchemists used to do some freaky stuff. The whole, like, turning stuff into gold and things like that.
Yeah, because it's kind of the opposite of the brothers. The brothers were born with their powers. Vigilante was kind of made. And so he, takes down bad guys, werewolves, vampires, monsters throughout the years. And then he's kind of basically made all the monsters extinct. So basically just takes on the mob in 1995, Brooklyn, New York. So he's almost like Blade and Punisher.
Yes.
And Wolverine. He's basically all my favorite anti-heroes put into one. I can't really pinpoint which one.
Yeah. Mix them together. That's what you get. Pretty cool. Well, everybody, I do have the link in the description. Check out SOS Onslaught graphic novel. Chimera does deliver. Believe it or not, this guy is damn serious about what he's doing. The previous book already shipped. It's still getting to Canada, right? But everywhere. Isn't that funny? It's in the UK, but not Canada.
Yeah, and I checked with some Australian people. They got their book too, so I don't know why Canada is
Canada's wacky. They're wacky. They're wacky up there. Like, a lot of stuff isn't open yet. Why that interferes with the mail, I mean, who knows? But you have all the tracking numbers and all that stuff.
Yeah, I used Kablam. Someone earlier said if I was using Kablam, I will. And I was thinking of doing more direct market. Next year, I'll probably open an Etsy store or an eBay store.
So you printed with Kablam?
Yeah, and they fulfilled as well. And so they...
Oh.
Yep.
Excellent. So Kablam is another printer. They're a digital printer out of somewhere in the South, Florida. Oh, they're in Florida?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay. And I know Barry Gregory owns the place. He's a nice guy. So now they also do fulfillment for you?
Yes, they do. I used them back in 2018 when I was trying to print Division 6, and they used to use envelopes, but they switched over to Gemini mailers, I think, last year. So that was a good thing.
Pretty cool. Yep. So they ship everybody domestically and internationally?
Yep. And I think the guy, another Canals project, Necromancer, was fulfilled by Kablam as well. So they're pretty reliable.
Not bad. Now, what do they charge for fulfillment services?
You can actually look on the website, but it's about $6 per Gemini mailer domestic, about 16 for Canada, and 25 for international.
So the labor is $6
per Gemini mailer,
okay.
Shipping. And it depends for printing costs. It depends on the book.
Right, so it's printing plus $6 per
Yeah.
package, basically.
Yeah, and
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, I saw their website was talking about it, but it was like it wasn't clear to me because they're like, well, we don't charge for the fulfillment. We just charge for the supplies. I'm like, well, that doesn't really make sense. It makes more sense that they would say that they would charge like $6.
No, there's no additional charge for fulfillment. I was also confused, but there's no extra charge for fulfilling the books.
But they charge you for each Gemini mailer?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they have shipping costs. So I think they need to change that on the website.
Well, they charge. So if you shipped out, how many packages from these guys? 100 or 200?
120.
120. Did they charge you $6 for each one of those?
For the domestic ones, yes. For Canada, it was 16, and international was 25.
Plus shipping, or was that including shipping?
That was the shipping.
Oh, okay. So the shipping and the box was only $6 each.
Yeah, for domestic.
Oh, okay. That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
So they're really not. They're just charging for the cost of supplies and the actual shipping. So that's really not bad at all. That's a damn decent deal. Postage and supplies, but not labor. Thanks for the explanation. Yeah, I'll have to at least talk to them and kind of see what they're doing over there. Just good thing for Commonsgate to know about, especially if you had a good experience with them, which you did, right?
Yes. The prices went a little up because it used to be $6, and then I think with Corona, they're up now. But I think I started fulfillment in April when all this bullshit went on. I said the C word. I meant to say the beer virus.
Yeah, it's all right. We'll get flagged.
Okay. Yeah, you got. Yeah, last time I was on here, you got flagged.
Well, I think we were. Oh, were we flagged or?
Yeah, we went from Wanger's stream.
We were on Wanger's where we got flagged.
No, his Wi-Fi was bad, so we switched here, and then we got flagged.
Oh, and then we got flagged here. Yeah. Well, it ain't easy. We'll see what happens tomorrow when we do this again. No, we can't do this everything. Interesting. All right. Does this mean you're a Florida creator?
No,
you're not.
Nope.
You're not, right? Oh, actually, I don't know where you are.
I'm in Kansas.
You're in Kansas?
Yep.
So you must know Eric Weathers, who's also in Kansas.
No, he's in Wichita. That's like 3 hours away.
Eric Weathers is also doing Battlebrick Road right now. This just launched. Let's just take a quick look at Battlebrick Road. We're very happy for Eric because he's got a good launch. He's up to 27,000, which is really, really cool. 22 days left on his first 30 days. And you're into your first 30 days. And you're doing better now than you were on your first campaign.
Yeah, I went really slow, but that's probably because I launched in October last year. So that's why I went really slow.
This is great. This is great. And you're happy with it. You love making comics, right?
Yeah, I have about 3 more books planned for SOS, and then I have a secret project launching next March.
What's your secret project?
No, I can't talk about it.
All right, well, pick, like, what area is it in, roughly? Is it horror?
Post-apocalypse and some Norse mythology.
Post-apocalypse. I'm down with apocalypses, as you know. I'm into College of the Dead. Very, very zombie stuff. I'm all about it. I'm glad we had a chance to beat up on Sean Gordon Murphy's project. That was great.
Yep.
Yeah, I am really surprised. I think you assessed this one really well as just like, hey, it's popular and he made money, but you should be able to see artwork on these things.
Yeah, it succeeded because it's name recognition. If this were anyone else, this would be dead.
You know what? That's like when Ethan gives advice about this kind of stuff. He's like, look, you've got to be enthusiastic about it. And now you look, as you're going down the campaign, like you should be drawn into it. Like you should get excited about it.
Yeah, it looks like a fucking novel. I'm not reading any of that.
Can I trust you to finish this? Yeah, the thing is you can just like actually go look at anybody else who's obviously really successful. Maybe look at 3 or 4 successful projects and just see what they're doing and kind of like look at what the common themes are, and then you kind of duplicate that. I like how you laid out your campaign. Your book is black and white, so that's why it's got black and white artwork as well. It should. plus a nice Simon Bisley cover. So if you like Simon Bisley, and who doesn't, that's a great reason to pick up that book. You already shipped one book before.
Yep.
All of this line art is great. This artist is really good.
Yes, he is.
You definitely didn't, go anywhere down from Canales. This is great work, and it's interesting. It's dynamic. Is this lettering going to be color in the book now?
I probably will get hit with a coloring charge, so I'll talk to Eric about it.
Oh, Weathers is doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to charge you to print in color if you have some of the letters. Why did he do that?
I don't know.
I don't know. We could ask him. But that is like a little funny. Like if it's a black and white book, then you can't put letters in color.
Yeah,
he knows that.
And if we hit 7,000, I have put an expiration date on the stretch goal. But if we hit 7,000, I will add colors to this. But we would have to hit it by June 15th, otherwise it expires.
It's a lot of pressure. Oh yeah, okay. Stretch goals. Let's do the stretch goals. $7,000. We will add colors to this graphic novel. Which colors? Well, the lettering colors. The lettering will be in color. No,
I can actually show some colors I got from Farrah.
Everything will be in color. Oh, all right. Yeah, I like her color.
Yeah, she is.
I work with her. 12,000. At 12,000, every backer receives a print of the Simon Bisley cover. That's cool. At 15,000, no one knows what size it is, but it could be 11/17. Sorry to give you a hard time about that, but 15 grand. All physical backers receive a physical 22-page preview of my next project, which is very cool. That is cool. A science fiction fantasy series. Wait a minute. Is that the secret project?
Yes.
Well, that's not post-apocalypse. Well, now we know even more about it. We're ruining all your secrets. What did you did you share me your page of Farrah's colors? Or are you still working on it?
Yeah, I'm trying to share. I think
Eric says, I like Murphy's work for the most part, but this project makes me nervous. I could totally blow up in our faces. Well, it's going to be his faces. We're not going to be responsible for that. It just looks like a boring, aimless Kickstarter project. It's plot holes, not yours.
Oh, okay.
Sample color from Farrah. Okay.
There's Pumpkin Face, one the disfigured mob boss. Who
nice.
Supernatural assassins that go after Vigilante. So
yeah, she always finds a way to. She knows how to add color. She does. She did the colors on College of the Dead, graduation day, and it came out great. And she knew like what tones to suggest, and Kyle Ritter helped me a little bit and gave us some really nice feedback. And it all came together beautifully. Really, really happy with it. Speaking of College of the Dead, College of the Dead is links also in the description. These are the prototype books. There's my Farrah colors. She colored the whole darn thing. She was good about it. We worked with somebody for flats, which actually is a good way to speed her up. It's a little more expensive, but not dramatically. And we were able to get it colored probably in about 2 months. I think it took about 2 months because she's always got other stuff to do.
Yeah.
And it came out beautiful. Narwhal did this cover. Narwhal's fantastic. The college bound cover. And all these are going to ship in June. And this one sold the most. I can see why. Damn. Yep. Yeah, she's pretty hot. Getting eaten by zombies. That's the party attack cover, the torch cover. I love this one. Yeah, because it started off where we just had this one cover, and it's like, this is a really cool zombie cover. But then I was like, let me do one variant. And then we got like this torch cover as the variant. And I was like, all right, that's really cool. But maybe I should have been more bold and just been like, all right, now give me a sexy girl like getting attacked by zombies. And that's where we got this one. But before all of that, I actually had Narwhal do the one variant of Earthbound, which became my zombified college bound cover. And I liked it, but I wanted to have the regular artist do a variant too. And then before you know it, you wind up with like 6 million variant covers. It's crazy. Is her name Candy? Her name is not Candy, but there's a joke in there. I just don't know it. Hail, Dr. Posty, PhD. Hail to you, as always, Shadowhawk. Great to see you. Candy is dandy, but liquor is quicker. Absolutely good to know. Yeah, the color work is really good. Farrah is really good. But the thing is, when you're working with creators, like, even if you don't feel like you're an expert and they know better than you know, it's always good to give them feedback on how you feel about the work. because they sometimes assume certain things. It's just good to communicate with people. And I feel like we got some of Farah's best work by just us talking about it. Can you get SOS 1 with this new book? That is a good question.
The featured
Hell
tweet.
yes, you can. Hell yes, you can. Yes, you will not miss out. Thanks to Phil thinking to ask this question. That is our featured perk. This is the one to really get behind. SOS Onslaught Plus Volume 1 for Zaid Comics. You get the 2 of them. It's $35. It ships worldwide. Fulfilled by Kablam, probably, right?
Yes.
Most likely. Very quickly and efficiently. Unless you're in Canada, but you will get it eventually. You can't help it. It's just, it's going to be like a couple of more weeks, I'm sure, that it will get taken care of. But they've been around a while, Kablam, so I've heard good things about them. I saw someone commenting on the printing quality, and they said they really liked the paper.
Yeah, the paper is really good. I don't know what they
It's very
did.
cool. They let you choose the paper, right?
No, they just do whatever, but it won't be.
They just do whatever.
But it won't be printed
You
from
can
home.
choose they will not be printed on your printer at the house.
Nope.
You know what? That poor guy, Alexopoulos, because
He did.
he was on that Doug stream when his campaign failed. And then Doug called it like the failure stream, and he was like mocking Alexopoulos, just like being completely cruel with him. Like, that's anti-CG is very cruel. It's not just like trying to be cruel to Ethan. And then after that, like, I don't think I ever saw him again.
No, he disappeared.
He's like, he went off and, started printing comics in his basement, but we never heard of. I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah.
And then the beer virus thing happened, and I certainly haven't seen since then. Hail Zaid. Hail Magicop is looking great. Looking forward to the new books. Yeah, there's going to be great stuff coming.
Didn't Doug tell him to quit his job or something?
Yeah, well, Doug told him to quit trying to make comics and that he should get a job at FedEx, and he might have listened to him.
Oh my God.
I mean, he made a few comics, George. The whole thing, again, kind of gets back to what we talked about before, is like, just don't make enemies with people, really avoid it. Don't have public arguments with people even. Like, we're going to sort things out. Let's go on a live stream and argue about things we don't agree with. Like, it's so ugly. It's so negative. It damages people's reputations. I'm not about that. I stay far away from all that. I recommend that to everybody else. But really, like, customers, you got to give people positive energy as much as possible. And you know that, Chimera. You're all about happiness. Chaotic Neutral Comics. Oh, haven't seen who? Oh, George Alexopoulos. We were just talking about Chaotic Neutral. The guy who was chasing after Ethan, one of the anti-CG guys.
Yeah,
and,
he's not a terrible artist. I've seen his work and I've seen reviews of his book. Apparently people liked...
He's mostly a cartoonist, but yeah, he's not terrible anything. He's a terrible person, unfortunately. But other than that, he's fine. It's so bad. Like, because what happens is they're so desperate. These anti-CG guys are so desperate for attention. They'll do anything to get attention. But the thing is, like in Comicsgate, you kind of have to merit that attention. And the people that merit the attention, that have the skill set, that have the personality, whatever it is, as time goes on, you will get more and more attention. And you just have to be able to understand, like, yeah, Dan Fraga may come in out of nowhere and get, more attention than other people that have been around, longer or whatever it is. But it's like, he deserves it. It's merit. And you just have to kind of build your audience. You and I were talking before the stream about YouTube. Like, you're about to make your first YouTube video. You got to make the YouTube video. You got to have people kind of get to know you a little bit. Yeah, I mean, you really just have to build your audience for you and for the kind of stuff that you're interested in, the stuff that you make. And it just takes a little time. But then what happens with the people that are so desperate to be validated, and you're definitely not one of them, but George Alexopoulos is, unfortunately, that Pocket guy is, or whatever. There's a few of these guys that are just desperate to be noticed immediately or else. And the only people that'll notice them are the people that abuse and use them, like, unfortunately, Doug, and just send them off on these crazy wild goose chases of attacking Ethan.
No, Doug has great advice. Do a hardcover for your book. Do 150 pages. Just do what he does.
Do 150 pages. It works out great for him. Doug does good work. Doug Ernst, that is. Don't get involved in internet blood sports. Yes.
Yeah, I've never
No
seen,
internet blood sports. Stay far away from it.
I've never seen Doug Ernst ever do any of this bullshit. He's
Chaotic Neutral, who joined us recently, but I know has important things to say, so we've got to feature it. It also seems these people feel owed something from others when really it's on them to be successful. True. Yes, Ethan has a bump power we can all appreciate, but it's not owed to anyone. It's not owed to anyone. Those are it's his customers. The same way that the money in Ethan's bank is Ethan's money. And yes, he has more money than most people, but that doesn't mean that we can all have some just because like we would like it, and he has it. And you cannot just take from other people. You have to earn your way. You have to be patient, and it's okay to start small and things and build your way up. And you meet a lot of great people on the way up. I mean, when I came into Comicsgate about a year ago, there was a lot of people were just starting out. And one of the people I can think about is Mandy Summers, who now does a show with John Malin. And she's a regular fixture of CG, supporting and promoting a lot of people. Actually, I think she's doing a stream opposite us right now. But she's one of those people. There's a lot of people that just kind of come in and, you kind of get what you build, and you get to have a lot of strong relationships with people as you get to do stuff. No, RT. Oh, damn it. This is the guy I was kind of worried about. RT Bear. Because he says that we all owe him everything. So everybody should. All right. This is how Art is. If you don't talk about Art's book at least once, he gets really mad. So let me find Chrono Mechanics. 1 second. So otherwise, we'll never hear the end of it.
Maybe he's talking about my campaign.
No, Art is not like that at all. Art is a great guy, and he is doing an amazing campaign. And we love Art so much that we do have to just talk about it for at least a moment here. This book, I remember when Art was trying to break 30,000 on this book, which he absolutely deserves because it's a great book. Chrono Mechanics Retrofit, still in demand right now. Art also did the famous book Black and White, and he's going to be doing a sequel to that very soon. We're trying to pay attention to Art so he doesn't get mad at us, because otherwise we're all in big trouble. Just kidding. It's just great to see Art in the chat. But anyway, yeah, Chrono Mechanics Retrofit. This book is, I'm sure, going to be shipping soon, May 2020, like probably right now. I don't know. Maybe I can have Art. When is this book shipping? Give it to me now. See, Art, it works. It works.
I think I actually read the latest updates. I think he said May or June, something like that.
Yeah, it's very soon. Very soon.
Yeah.
Hail Art is right. Hail Art. Yeah, Art is a great CG expert. He is very cool. He's got a great YouTube channel. Definitely subscribe to Art's YouTube channel. I'm sure it's called like RT Bear or something clever like that. Very easy to find. He does comic industry stuff. He does stuff talking about comic book art. He draws. He does all kinds of cool guests on there. Coloring is beautiful, this book. This is actually a really beautiful looking book. I'm excited for him to be doing another sequel to doing the sequel to Black and White, because I think for us, and I'm glad you're doing that with SOS, like you really want to kind of give people more once you've given them something and it's been successful. I think as much as we can do that, the better. And we build our audiences and we build a following for ourselves as creators, like what's Adam's next project. They're going to press soon. See? Problem solved. But in addition to people following you, you want people to follow your projects as much as possible. So when's the next SOS book going to come out? When's the next College of Dead book's going to come out? When's the next Chrono Mechanics going to come out when this first one ships?
Yeah, I actually talked with Canales. We will do a newsletter in June, and we'll try to launch Volume 2 in late August or early September this year.
Very cool. Well, as soon as you're ready, the sequel.
Yep.
Hex Allen says, looking forward to reading Chrono Mechanics. I had Art talking about Chrono Mechanics, and I kept asking him questions, and he kept answering those questions. And then I asked him more questions, and then he answered those questions. I was like, wow, this is a really deep science fiction story. It was almost like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Like there was so much there. Very, very interesting concept. Very interesting concept. We're also keeping an eye on Battlebrick Road. Eric, who's lettering your book, his project. A great summation for this is Wizard of Oz with guns, and it is more than that, but that's a good way to describe it. It's Wizard of Oz with guns. Farrah's actually coloring this too. Farrah does everything. Scarecrow. He's got a cool scarecrow. He looks badass. Have you seen Tug's new book, by the way?
Yeah, another case for Littlest Umbrella. Is the artist on that? I think I know who the artist is. Is it?
He was talking about the artist, and it was really surprising. It's like, yeah, the artist is. I could have sworn he said the artist was doing like everything, including letters. And I was like, what? Maybe I
could be
hear him
wrong.
properly.
I could be wrong.
I have a lot going on, so like sometimes I just get like bits and pieces of information and not like the whole story. But yeah, another case for Littlest Umbrella. He's already at 34,000. He's just a little bit more than 24 hours in. Tug is a great example of a lot of people, they know who he is. People like Tug, and we all want to help and promote Tug. We're excited for Tug to be doing a sequel, as you were saying just a moment ago, sequels, how important they are to build, audience, to build engagement, interaction, to take your legend of your story and your characters and your world and extend it that much further into people's lives and into the universe, like sequels. But he's got a great platform. He's got more than 100,000 subs on his YouTube channel, and he's got a great engagement with his audience. People love him. And it's funny because he was streaming again today. He got struck yesterday while he was streaming multiple times, struck again today. People are just like out to get Tug, but he just keeps going.
Well, I think because YouTube is run by bots right now because of the beer virus. So
yes, but he's got a lot of enemies. It's not just that. Notice like we're not, you and me don't have a lot of enemies yet.
God, I hope not.
We got to build it up. We got to work on that.
That begs the question. That means they've been flagging us this whole time because YouTube is.
They probably. I mean, there's like 20 people or so. They get into a.
Well, it's more like 12.
Well, they say it's 12, but
yeah.
I'm sure they have, a couple of extra wacky friends that have nothing else to do. Ethan was remarking on this today. He's like, "This is almost photorealistic. This variant cover." And that does look like it's her actual artwork. I didn't hear him comment on it, but his daughter's artwork, which is cute. But isn't that cool? Isn't that something else? Yeah, this is great. We should all be putting out, as long as we can maintain the quality, just keep putting our books out, keep delivering, keep engaging with people, keep doing great things. And look at all these drawn in tiers, just like on that Plot Holes book. Be the prison guard, sold out. Be in the book, be the innkeeper, sold out. Be the mayor in the book, sold out. I'm sure he would have sold out more if he had more. And he's starting to sell original artwork too, which is great.
Hex Allen Comics has the perfect comment.
Oh, what's that? Hex Allen?
The last one.
I think RT Bear is mad at me again. Oh, see, he's trying to be nice, but this is a threat. You got to know, Art. This is a threat. Something happens to me. It was RT Bear. Only kidding. Art, much appreciated, brother. It's great to see you in the chat. Art was a big supporter of mine, too. He had me on early with College of the Dead graduation day as well. So, we all back each other up. We're all thrilled to see each other succeed. We're really happy. I'm happy. The whole thing, like, and Ethan put it out to me, and this is why people have to understand this, is we have to exist based on merit. We can't just be leveraging off of everyone else's channels all the time. We have to build our own platforms because God forbid something happens, to people that you're depending on. You got to build your own thing. And when you're doing well when you're doing better next time. Your second campaign doing better than your first campaign, you're on the right track. And as far as how big is your campaign going to be, it just kind of depends on how much you're promoting and what your engagement is with the audience, and also how well you did delivering on your first campaign. Is the second campaign interesting? Multiple factors, but it definitely helps to build a platform. That much I can say for sure. So we can get help from, what also, I don't know if you do this much, Chimera, but the super chats help too. Sometimes not on, the smallest channels, but particularly on bigger channels. Hey, don't forget this one's still available and things like that.
Yeah, super chat. Speaking of,
oh, did we get one?
No.
Last Super
Hexalon
Chat.
comic. No.
Oh yeah, where is the Hexalon comics? Yeah, thanks.
If you scroll up, he's adding you.
Oh, take that down. It's Chimera's time.
I just had to.
It's a bit of a Chimera. Well, we're just kind of mixing it up a little bit because we did discuss Chimera's project pretty extensively, and the idea is to get some of Chimera's take on things. Of course, Chimera. What else do we have? That one wasn't Battlebrook Road. Anything but Chimera's project. Let's talk about Dan Fraga. Dan Fraga is awesome. I like his new look with the sunglasses. I'm thinking of getting sunglasses, but all the stores are closed, so I don't know about that.
Well, you could wear the furry suit as a stretch goal.
I like that he's dressed as a bunny. I think that's working for him. Just got to make it work. Like gives you a bunny suit, put it on. That's your mission. That's what you got to do. All right, so we know what a Chimera is. The featured tier is SOS plus Onslaught. That's the one that people need to buy, unless they've got $2,000 and they want to drop it on the original Bisley cover. Have you ever shipped original art like this?
No, but wouldn't be a problem for me.
Cool. You had it shipped to you, so you essentially would ship it the same way that you got it, right?
Yep.
Very cool. It looks beautiful. It is really exciting to have Simon Bisley do something for you.
Yeah,
is he doing comics now? I haven't really.
I don't know. Last time I saw anything, he did a Dread cover for a while back. But
is he too? Do they have like a new version of Lobo that's like Trans Lobo or something?
No, Lobo seems to be back to normal last time I saw, but that was a few years ago. That was a few years ago. So
yeah, I mean, like I hear guys talk about current comics, and it's like I really no interest in keeping up with those guys. All right. We only need about 7 or 8 people to false flag on YouTube. They're kind of understaffed and are going with better safe than sorry strategy. Okay. So 7 or 8 flags and boom, you take down a stream. That's terrible. Well, that's very generous of you, Art. Thank you very much. Good night, Art. Yeah, we all love RT Bear. Good people. All right. Here's a good question. Any other questions for Chimera? Hit us up. Chimera, how long is the SOS story? How many books are going to be in the series? Aha, because I've insisted on sequels. So give us the rundown on that, Chimera, if you would.
Sure. So SOS Onslaught's kind of a spin-off and it's a standalone project. So it has nothing to do with the main series. The main series is 4 volumes and it's around 12 issues each, or 12 issues total. And
so when you say 12 issues, you say that just to confuse us, right?
No, there's 4 issues in volume 1. There'll be 3.
So it's like when you're saying 4 issues in volume 1, that's really like it's one book of 80 pages.
Yep. 20.
All right.
Yeah, 20 pages for each individual.
So we're thinking about it's 4 books that are 4 issues each.
Just about, yeah. Well,
approximately.
No, it's 12. You're confusing me now. No, it's 12 issues. So it's 4 issues for volume 1. 3
but
issues.
80 pages.
Yeah. And then volume 2 is a bit shorter. It's about 56. So that's 3 separate stories.
Yeah. Do they die at the end or something?
Well, I can't tell you.
I see. But they can't be sequels? Maybe they can have Son of SOS or something like that?
No.
Baby SOS?
I'm never doing that.
No?
That would.
What if you sell a lot? I mean, you got to bring it back.
Oh, no. There's 12 issues total. So there's 12 individual stories.
J-Jax did the math. Thank you, J-Jax.
Yeah.
4 times 4 equals 16.
Yeah, there's 4 volumes.
Awesome.
There's
and
4...
J-Jax also, alternatively, 4 times 3 equals 12.
Okay.
I mean, between the two of them, you got 28. Chimera, any plans? Okay, this is another good question. On an LCS version through Alterna or Antarctic, maybe?
Probably just going to self-publish and just do kind of what Ethan is doing through eBay or Etsy store. Kind of Kyung Lee is doing Etsy. So I'll probably just fulfill.
Yeah, how is Kyung Lee doing with Etsy? Seems like he's selling stuff there, right?
Yeah, he's selling a lot. It's only $7.
It's pretty great.
Yep. I'd probably have to.
Tick fans out there, read a book. I like that comic, Tick.
Yeah.
Ben Edlund.
I would have to differentiate it if I did more direct to consumer again. I'd probably have a different cover for the eBay or Etsy store version, because if you're backing on Indiegogo, I want you to have something special or a collectible, so I'll have a different cover.
Yeah, comic store distribution has gotten weird since this thing with Diamond not paying people. It's gotten really weird because it's a tough business to begin with. And then Diamond did this thing, Back the Comeback. Have you heard about that?
No, I haven't. I haven't really
All right.
paid attention.
So what Steve Geppi and his son came up with this idea. Let's just do this. This is it's kind of interesting. Zach did a story about this. And I elected to stay away from this a little bit because I have kind of mixed feelings about it. I want comic stores to succeed. I want comic publishers to succeed. But I want a lot of things, and I'm not going to be getting all of those things probably. So we have to kind of prioritize.
What the hell?
So they designed. All right. So Diamond designed this logo, and it looks like the Comic Code Authority type of stamp. And they're using this logo to spearhead a promotional effort to get the comic book industry, creators, publishers, retailers, and fans, readers, thinking about supporting comic book stores. And they're calling it, our comeback will be bigger than our setback. Now, and then it's hashtag back the comeback trademark. Now, is this good? Well, it says here, get ready to back the comeback. All right, so this is coming from Comics Beat by Heidi McDonald. The Beat is like very left-wing, bizarre news media, kind of like Bleeding Cool. But they have the story. So Back the Comeback is led by Diamond Comic Distributors and Alliance Game Distributors. That's another company that Steve Geppi owns. They sell board games and whatever collectible games to game stores. Same kind of thing as comic store type distribution, just another company. And Steve Geppi has been saying he was going to launch something in recent live streams, and he wants to kind of create charities and try to get everyone involved that he can to help comic stores. I mean, frankly, all right, I don't know. I'm not going to try not to criticize it, I guess, but I think the intention's good. The intention's good. So the campaign launched for the cooperation of industry influencers. Well, okay, not really completely true. Comes complete with trademarks, a logo based on the Comics Code Authority, and a snappy motto. Now, when she's saying launch with the cooperation of industry influencers, she's inaccurate because Steve Geppi has reached out to people to be involved. He talked to Todd McFarlane about it, and Todd McFarlane's supposedly going to talk to other image publishers. And they're trying to basically do is have this logo appear on comic book covers to get people to see a recognition of, oh, okay, yeah, I see that on this issue of College of the Dead, I've got this yellow box on it that reminds me that I should spend as much money as I can at the local comic store and try to really support my comic store. I mean, it's good to want to support comic stores, but there are people that Geppi's been reaching out to, but I haven't heard of any companies that are influencers that have said, yes, we're going to support this fully. So,
they should have been doing this 3 years ago, not now. I mean, they've been trying. They should have thought about sales. They should have thought about sales.
Yeah, if they had that in place 3 years ago, it would have probably worked better. Geppi has said that he's going to donate items worth at least $50,000 to the auction. Now, there's a guy who is another business guy in and around Comicsgate, and he made an interesting comment about donations to auctions. And a comment that he made was that there were creators that were donating sketches from their closet that were just unsaleable sketches for $500 or $10,000 as part of their charity doings. And, there's nothing wrong with donating items worth $50,000 or anything like that, but it is a tax write-off also. So now proceeds that are generated from auctions, because Jeppy is going to use, he owns I think it's called Hakes Auctions or something like that. It's some auction house that sells collectibles, and other donations that people make to the effort is going to go to the Book Industry Charitable Foundation, which basically is a charity that supports failing bookstores and comic book stores as well. The Jack Vassal Memorial Fund and the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund. And then Jeppy says here, city's last few months have been challenging would be an understatement, said Steve Jeppy, and CEO of Jeppy Family Enterprises, which is his company that owns all of his companies. I have heard from many retailers, and everyone's excited about safely reopening, restarting, and rebuilding. I truly believe our comeback will be bigger than our setback. He is very optimistic, and am excited to kick off this campaign in support of our industry and our retailers. The campaign is already launched across multiple social media categories. So, I mean, if it catches on, like Free Comic Day caught on, but they haven't even figured out Free Comics Day. What I didn't understand is, like, look, why would you just not do Free Comics Day once a month if publishers want to cooperate?
Right.
Like a store could do whatever they want to do, right? A store could do something where they're like, look, we're going to do free comics on the first of the month or the 15th, or at least once a season, once a quarter. And it happens to be June, like summer is coming. So you could do that like for June to get people back into shops. And all you'd need to do, this is a common comment. This is the weird thing about like just charity for business doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. Businesses shouldn't be run as charities. It's like if they're not viable, then they can't stay in business. You can't say like, well, it's like a church. We're going to give it money. Like it's not a church. It's a business. They have expenses. They have employees. They have inventory. They resell it. They're supposed to buy the things that people want to buy, and they have to negotiate to buy those things for a good price so they can resell it. Chimera, thanks for putting the link in for this. You're doing a good job.
Well, you're getting really passionate about.
No, it's true. Put SOS in there. But anyway, why would a business, an industry, need to be run as a charity? The situation is mainly due to Marvel flooding the market in DC, putting up with trash. It's that the new comics are bad. But there actually was a good stream recently with this veteran retailer who's total gangster, Chuck Rosansky, and in a good way. He's super badass. And he's like, listen, I don't focus on new comics at all. He's like, look behind me. And, it wasn't a green screen. He had like 500,000 comics in boxes behind him. He's like, that's my back issue inventory, but that's one row. He's got 20 rows just like that. Oh. He owns it all outright. He's a multimillionaire. And he did it because he buys low and he sells high. And he calls these retail stores diamond catalog stores. He's like, they're going to all fail. He's like, they're going to all fail. He's like, there's going to be a future for comics because there are billions of comics that are in print. So even if there aren't new comics, there are going to be people that care about comics and want to buy them. It's like, so it's not about what happens with Diamond and the comeback and all that. It's what even the SJW stuff. I'm sure even with the SJW stuff, he's just like, look, if you want to make terrible comics that nobody cares about, that's your business. He doesn't care about that. He cares about that he's got millions and millions of comics that he can sell that he paid almost nothing for, that he gets to sell for whatever he wants. MileHighComics.com. He does very well for himself with that. So yeah, my take on this is like, I guess yours. It's a little bit too little, too late. And these stores, they don't know how to make money, and they shouldn't be thinking about charity. They should be making money. And what I also didn't see is like they said, like, hey, Steve Jeppy was saying, hey, we'll help stores out, and they have helped stores out. They let them pay late, and then eventually those stores go back in business and stuff. Hey, Brian, good to see you, man. Brian does a book called Six Gun Gorilla. It's a great book. Did really well. Congratulations on your recent success, Brian. And very cool. Your book's taken off. But it really does bug me. It bothers me that, like, look, what you need to do is with comic book stores, They have to figure out how to make comic book stores a good business. If it's not a good business, if it's always going to just be a terrible business and it's just going to get worse and worse, it's not going to continue, no matter how enthusiastic people are about it. So they need to start. You don't have to have the solution, but you have to be able to show the people that you're working with, like, hey, look, we're going to be here to make money, and we're going to help you guys make money. And our number one priority as like a distributor really should be, we're going to help you be a great business. And we've got people know Diamond, Steve has millions of dollars. Diamond has millions of dollars. Just because they're not paying people over the next couple of weeks, they're going to start paying people again pretty soon. They had business interruption. Doesn't mean they don't have resources and millions and access to more money. They have access to a lot of resources. So what I would have liked to see if I was a store would have been like, hey, I want to hear how you're going to make me a great business. Like, support me. Or at very least, like, listen, if your store operates the way that Diamond says to operate, just follow his protocols, follow his system, do what he says to do. He'll back you up. That's what I would like to see. They were talking about maybe getting into doing back issues. So like a distributor could offer back issues to a comic store. It's like, well, I mean, it's fine if they can do that. But when you listen to like this guy, Chuck Rosansky, he's been doing those kind of back issue deals for like 50 years. And Steve Jeppy used to be a back issue dealer too. But Steve Jeppy knows how to do it, but really Chuck Rosansky knows how to do it. So if I heard like Chuck Rosansky was going to help Steve Jeppy train retailers, because these new retailers have no idea how to make money with their customers. For example, Chuck Rosansky was saying, listen, you guys should be not trying to resell new comics, whether they're good or bad. Like, you use that to bring people into the store. But what you could be doing is, there's always somebody who's getting divorced. There's always somebody who's moving. There's always somebody who's going to college. There's always somebody who just decides they're not interested in comics anymore. You're the comic store. So like, 1,000 people with collections know where your store is. You buy it for 10 cents on the dollar. I think closer to the truth is probably 5 cents on the dollar, if that. But so what? You have 10 boxes of comics. You have nothing to do with them. Chuck offers you $100. You're going to take the $100. What's Chuck going to get? He's going to get like probably $5,000 worth of stuff. Now, Chuck has a good reputation, so I have no idea exactly what he pays, but when the numbers he gave was 10 cents on the dollar. Well, when a store buys back issues for 10 cents on the dollar, they can actually make money. They can't make money if they're going to be buying non-returnable comics and then they're going to come in damaged. They're going to have problems. Captain Marvel with the SJW stuff, and the Hulk is weird, and what, all the variants and all that other crap. It's a scam. Trying to make money from new books has not worked out for these retailers for years. So Chuck Rosansky's point is like, listen, just work with your customer base. So you have one customer who's getting divorced. The guy's got $10,000 worth of books. He knows he's not getting more than $1,000 for that. It's reality. Was he going to sell them all on eBay for 10 grand? No. So he can sell them to you for $1,000, and you can flip the ones you have to flip. That's what Chuck did back in the day when he bought his first Mile High Comics. It was Golden Age collections. He sold some of those books, paid for basically the cost of acquiring the collection, and he got the rest for free. And then you make more money. It just kind of keeps continuing. I'm not a comics dealer, but as a comic collector, it kind of always appeals. It's interesting. But relying on this, our comeback will be bigger than. Honestly, the logo of our comeback will be bigger than our setback. I don't know what significance that logo has to anybody, like to a fan.
The
like,
keyword.
What does that mean to you? You've never seen it before. Does it mean anything to you?
No, because the keyword comeback, like what comeback? It's too fucking late, you assholes. You ruined it. And to make.
Do you know what they're even talking about? Do you get that it's virus related or?
No, they're using that as an excuse.
Dale, he is so shrewd, you wouldn't believe it.
Okay,
look,
Chuck owned all those people on that panel. He absolutely savaged them. Yeah,
and he was just sitting there like, listen, I'll say 3 words and destroy all of you, or I'll say nothing and let you say dumb shit. Like, well, but in my location, at my store, it's just like, okay. Chuck's like doing the math of like, how do I dumb this down enough?
Yeah.
Because like,
Well,
fucking look behind. I'm gonna find this. Do you know where the stream is? You know what stream it is? Can you
it's
see it?
called Dan Shy. I'll link it. It's the Dan.
Yeah, if you can find it, if you can put it in the comments, guys, I recommend it because first of all, it's exciting to see Chuck Rosansky talk because he's talking about comics. But he is a multimillionaire. There was Chuck explained because Dan asked him direct. There was a rap that's gone around about Chuck Rosansky for a long time. Like Gary said, you need comics to be in there somewhere. So there was a rap about Chuck Rosansky because he got this first Mile High Comics collection, and he's a smart guy. Yes, he parlayed that score on getting those books and being able to resell them for a couple of years. He parlayed that into capital for his business. But that he's had ups and downs. He's been in debt for millions of dollars as well. And although I'm sure he's always owned millions of dollars worth of comics. But he explained, listen, I made my $20 million off of the Church collection, which was some other great collection he got a hold of. I think it was Edgar Church's. I don't quite recall. But yeah, Chimera put it in the description. Chuck destroys losers on a live stream. Is that the long version of the live stream?
I think I timestamped it, but it's around the time.
Okay.
Chuck,
Cool.
talks.
Cool. All right. That's great that you timestamped it. Yeah, because he talked a couple times throughout it, but every time he talked, it was like, holy shit. Like he's just like super ninja guru. The other thing that these guys don't seem to fucking put two and two together with is he could stake any one of those guys. He could stake them with not stake, like murder them. He could as well, but he could give them inventory if he so chose.
Yeah.
He could say, listen, I'm going to send you 10,000 comics. You can sell them even 3 for $1. And, you're going to give me this much money over this amount of time and I'll just give you a shot. Or he's got like some 100,000 graphic novels or more. So, more than he can ever even sell. And Marvel Masterworks hardcovers and shit. He's got all that stuff. So he could give inventory. If these guys knew how to sell it, he could give it to any of them. He put any of those guys in business. He does do some. Yeah.
Well, my own theory. I feel like just the movies. Okay. There's just a lot of layers to this. I'll just try to hit the high points.
Do it Chimera style. Mix it together genetically.
These SJWs are like ticks. They had been buried into the industry for years. I feel like they started doing this shit back in 2012, but I really think this shit started way before that. Then I feel like the movies became super popular and people didn't really need to buy the comics. They can just go watch the movies. And I feel like the movies have just replaced, because back in my day, they had the cartoons. The cartoons were okay. They weren't like super good. People still bought comics. They had
the cartoons. You mean like the 90s cartoons?
Yeah, Spider-Man, X-Men. Like they were good, but people still bought comics back then. I feel like the movies.
Yeah, they were like complementary to the comics.
They got all the normies in, and normies don't buy comic books. So I feel like just Marvel just appealed to all the normies, and they didn't try and promote comic books.
You mean comic books like College of the Dead?
No. More like SOS Onslaught.
All right, SOS Onslaught. Just like that.
Yes.
Yeah, but at least they were cool and they didn't ruin the characters. But when the focus wasn't about, what? It was like the 1990s, the early 1990s, when people were getting more into merchandise and selling the books as collectibles. They lost their way, the publishers, with focusing on story and really trying to keep people engaged as readers in the stories. That is when they start to lose their shit, because there's so much money in doing toys and animated stuff. And, at some point when, one company gets into the business and they're like, well, look, we're just kind of hustling this for toys, but everyone else is really trying to make comics. It's not as big a deal. It's just like, well, the industry's still intact because all the publishers are serious about comics. They've been doing this for decades. They're making good stories. They're focused on the integrity of the characters. They want to maintain readers. They're concerned about their relationship with the readers. But, there's one or two companies that are just kind of coming in to hustle. It's like, all right, well, they're hustling, but the other guys are serious. But then as time went on, it was like the only company that was really serious about story and characters and actually refused to do licensing was Jim Shooter's Valiant 1.0. They weren't licensing toys. They weren't making any merchandise. They were just like, listen, we're just here to make the comics and we want people to read them. And that was the focus. And then like that company fell apart because Shooter's partners wanted to sell the company and cash out when things were going really well. And Shooter didn't want to sell. So they had to get rid of him. Once they got rid of him, they sold the company kind of on the cheap. His partners made money. He was screwed over and the company was destroyed. And they made some attempts to bring it back, but it's really never come back to be what it used to be. Oof. And never with the integrity. You know, when Valiant came back in 2012 or whatever it was they put money into it. They were trying to do the right thing, but still, even though people cared about the comics, they weren't passionate about delivering for the readers and being focused on just the story and making sure people were there for the story.
Didn't the Marvel writers mutiny against Jim Shooter?
A lot of people, no, there were some people that didn't like him because, you know, he is tough and he could be tough to work with. I worked with him on a couple of things that I have not yet published. What was it, 15 years ago or something like that? But the writers that didn't like him were ones that he was like telling, look, you've got to be disciplined. You know, you've got to have continuity. And that was the other thing is when you take continuity out of the comics, that's where you open the door for wacky SJW nonsense. Where it's like, well, now it's Ironheart. It's like, wait a minute, where did this character come from? What the hell is going on? Why is Captain America a Nazi? You know, what the hell is what is it with these changes to classic characters that make no sense for where the characters came from? And just to say, well, we're going to change, you know, Hulk or whatever, or She-Hulk and make her ugly. It's like it's not. There's no continuity with what the brand is supposed to stand for, and that's why you have restrictions, and it does piss people off, and it means that you're not going to have another Todd McFarlane who's going to come out of. They're not going to develop in a restricted system the way that they could develop if they're doing their own wild, create their own stuff. But the problem is somebody institutionally has to produce a line of comics that has continuity, that is focused on characters and story, that isn't there just to showcase artists like Todd McFarlane did with Spider-Man, which was great for Spider-Man for a very little while and was great for Todd McFarlane to make him a multi-millionaire. But it wasn't good for comics to allow that type of super showboating and super stylistic, brilliant, really, really creative work, but basically turned a Marvel comic into an Image comic. What later became an Image comic. It wasn't a Marvel comic when it was Spider-Man #1 with Todd McFarlane just doing his own thing. Yeah, Valiant in the 90s was kick-ass. That's the thing is you have to think about all the aesthetics. In conversations with Shooter, it was good stories, it was good comics, and it was shipping on time. But a Valiant comic was supposed to feel like a Valiant comic and look like a Valiant comic, and have the advertising a Valiant comic would have in it. Have the editor-in-chief's story page in there, but the pacing of the stories, the storytelling style, all of it is supposed to be the coloring style throughout the books. Like Farrah is great. I love working with her as a colorist. But if she was working as part of a line, you would know and you would determine like what it's supposed to look like, what the line of that group of characters in that world, like what are the colors in that universe, and it would be aesthetically similar. We have a look and a feel to College of the Dead that makes sense for a zombie graphic novel. But when Farrah does another project for me, and it's not this project, it's not going to look this way. It'll be nice coloring, but it's not going to have that type of mood. But you're still supposed to have that kind of aesthetic, including the lettering, including whether or not there are caption boxes that have comments, like going back to the Stan Lee days, like in editor's notes and things like that. Those are decisions that you make, and things can evolve over time. But then that whole style and the whole makeup and the identifiers, some of the things that are done and obvious consciously, and then some of the things that are just aesthetically kind of buried in the machinery, behind the equations, behind the math that give you aesthetically like it's a Valiant book, it's a Marvel book. And to me, obviously, that really interested me because I kind of saw it as a comics fan. Even when Frank Miller and Chris Claremont, John Byrne, like different creators were working on Marvel books, but they were all still kind of within that Marvel box. They felt like a Marvel comic. And that definitely changed over time. Exo-Man of War stylistically was a damn good book. Yeah, Archer and Armstrong was a good book. People were really excited at what Valiant 1.0 was doing, and people were excited to see it come back. Trav, we're talking about Valiant Comics, not Prince Valiant, but maybe you're not familiar with it. It's possible, but they did Exo-Man of War, Solar, Man of the Atom. Yeah, there was just so much sincerity and so much purpose. Like talking in Comicsgate, the thing that we have most similar to it probably just is, Ethan's passion and dedication to his craft and his project, and the fact that he's writing and drawing and doing everything. He is his own editor-in-chief, and he's incredibly careful about every detail and every aspect of every little thing that he's possibly doing. But I would love to see it with a line of comics, and we'll see. Anything's possible with Comicsgate, really is.
Yep.
Yeah, Solar, Exo, Turok. Yep. In the early 1990s. Yeah, they were really successful too. Valiant did a lot of business. They sold a lot of comics. Their problem was just kind of being able to hold it all together, and not editorially and not even financially. Just the partners wanted to do different things. And that's the other thing. If you get into business with partners. Yep. Dinosaurs and machine guns, I think. Definitely dinosaurs. I don't know if they have machine guns, but definitely with dinosaurs. But you know what? Comicsgate can do anything, and if that's what we set our mind to, we'll do it again in the future. At least I know what's missing. I'll put it that way. If you put the right editorial sandbox together, you give everyone an opportunity to contribute. It doesn't mean people can't do their own, create their own books. It just means it's kind of a place everybody could go and contribute something to and work in. Is Bloodshot Valiant? Yes, Bloodshot was created in the first Valiant. When they lost Shooter, it was all going south. Yeah, when Shooter left, they had a couple months worth of comics left, and so they published those when they threw Shooter. They threw him the F out of there, and he couldn't sue them. He didn't have the resources to really do anything about it. But their line declined almost immediately. They put it on cheaper paper. They had promised to do certain things that they didn't deliver on. They published Turok #1. It was supposed to be a chromium cover, and they advertised it as a full chromium cover, the whole page. But it wound up being cheaper for them to just make it partly chromium. So it was smaller. It was maybe around the size of where this text is. So I just kind of glued the front of it on, and people were like, I don't want to buy that. And stores got stuck with them terribly. It was a whole freaking disaster. Because the thing of it is if somebody really cares about what the hell is going on and they're really watching everything carefully, it makes a difference. Chaotic Neutral has it. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I don't think Jim Shooter was. I know Jim Shooter was not there when they put that book out and the chromium cover wasn't what they promised. There's no way he would have permitted that out the door. Yeah, Shooter started in comics at 13. Yeah, he's still a man. He's still around. Giving away your age. Yes. Well, we won't tell anybody, but you're probably 48. Well, we just told everybody. Yeah, Turok was cool. Yeah, and Turok was from Western publications that was originally published in the 1960s. So it was Solar and Magnus the Robot Fighter. But it was a true universe, where everything kind of happened with the continuity very carefully when everything was going on. That's another whole thing that you can't do in comics if you're not being super careful and you don't limit the number of titles you do. You can't do, well, this is going on in New York City right now, and then you see like you're doing the Fantastic Four, let's say, and then Spider-Man's swinging somewhere in the background in the sky somewhere, and he's off doing something in another building in some issue in Spider-Man. So there's so much you can do with content, but it's a hell of a lot of work, and someone has to want to do it, and somebody has to care enough to put the trouble in. Shooter was great, but he was just kind of carrying on what the greats were doing before him. It's not like he invented all that stuff. It was Stan Lee, Mort Weisinger, and other people whose names I forget. And he was just kind of carrying on the traditions, which, that's what we're supposed to be doing, is carrying on traditions of stuff that we really liked. We're not supposed to just complain about stuff that we don't like. We're supposed to, and we're doing it with Comicsgate. We're doing a lot of great books. That's why making comics is crucial to Comicsgate. If we don't put out comics and all we put out are criticisms, we're not going to ever have the things anymore that we like. They're only going to be the old stuff. And there's not going to even be anyone who remembers anymore, what was good, why it was good, and how to make more of them. So in all seriousness, it's crucial we do good work, and we just try to do the best stuff we can, but also to stay close to the fans and understand, like, is the stuff we're doing what they want? And if there's something we're passionate about doing it, I mean, the Comicsgate fans are amazing. They've been so supportive of me. I know they're going to support you on SOS Onslaught. They can support me on College of the Dead as well. I appreciate that, collegeofthedead.com. But yeah, I mean, the fans will support us in anything we want to do if what we do is worthy of the fans. But honestly, whether it's us making it or someone else starts, but someone's got to make the great books for today and for tomorrow. And if we don't, all we're going to be left with are the crappy corporate comics that aren't good. Corporate comics can be good. They're not anymore.
Yeah, they don't try.
They don't want to try. They don't want them to. They don't want good. They want inclusion. This is an interesting article. We won't spend a lot of time on it, but
sure.
I did a video about this today. No, not about this today. I did a video about this today. I thought this was like 2 years old because it was so recent. It seemed like, but not so recent, but what she was talking about was like so off base. This is the girl Camilla Zhang that got fired from Kickstarter. And so in this interview, this is her talking about making an anthology project. So Kickstarter launched this anthology project, and then they just got rid of her. She'd been working on it for a while. And what it is it's an anthology project. Okay. Will you be crowdfunding the publication of the anthology? So this is Kickstarter actually publishing it on their platform. Will you be crowdfunding the publication of the anthology? This is from ICV2, which used to be Internal Correspondence, published by Capital City Distributors, Diamond's #1 competitor before they went out of business. Not Diamond, before Capital went out of business. Hopefully Diamond will never go out of business. Will you be crowdfunding the publication of the anthology? And they've launched this site since. No, actually, the anthology is not sourcing new material. The stuff that's already been published through Kickstarter will be offering a licensing fee to the people we select. We're giving the books out for free. So this is Kickstarter's project. Is she's had this passion project. I actually didn't even know it was this stupid because I only read the second half apparently of her interview with him. This anthology project that they're doing is licensed material from people who are already on the Kickstarter platform, and they're giving it away for free on Kickstarter. How is that supposed to make any money for anyone? If you're publishing it on Kickstarter, but it's free, all it's doing, right? Like, if it's free, then there's no money changing hands.
Yeah, these people, they're all socialists, so they believe in
they're communists. They're not socialists. Is not even a thing. Yeah. They supposedly it is, but we all know it's fucking not. It's communism. It's nonsensical. It's like we want to pass money to our allies. So it's not even. It's money from. It's licensing money. What a stupid project. So Kickstarter is paying licensing fees for existing material that was published on Kickstarter to reprint the content in an anthology. It's a way she can give cash to her failure friends who she's been desperately wasting her time trying to promote on Kickstarter. The licensing fee obviously paid by Kickstarter, not even paid by backers. So his question is, do you have a target for the number of stories or pages? We're trying to keep it to 96 to 120 pages, depending on budget. So Kickstarter needs to set aside money for a budget. How much are they paying? I don't think she mentions, right? So I don't know. I don't know how much it is. It's not $10 a page or $1 a page like it ought to be if it's going to be charity payments. It's probably like $300 a page. So they could just waste as much money as possible and give it to their allies. Does this stuff bother me? It's not my money. Like, it bothers me because it's so inherently effing stupid. It's such bad business, and it doesn't actually support people who make money. It just supports charity cases that merit should have taken away in the first place. And if you don't have merit in a system, you're poisoning the system. You know, if my books don't make money, if God forbid SOS didn't make money, but it is, but if it didn't, then it shouldn't exist. Then you go make something else that people do like, not force feed them this garbage. Then he asks, will it be available in bookstores and comic stores? And she says, no, unfortunately. Kickstarter's not a publisher. We're a crowdfunding platform that wants to foster new creators and getting support for new creators. It would blur the line if the books were in bookstores. What line? They're publishing it. They're giving it away for free. Hopefully it's only digital. I don't even know if it's physical. It would be too painful to find out that it was physical. We're not publishers. We're not trying to – look at this.
Oh, wow.
We're not trying to make money off these books.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's
God forbid.
Yeah, that's what I hear. They like, this isn't about making money. Well, yeah, it is. Like, what?
Yeah, it better. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. That's why, like, I see Zach, like, I don't know if it was Zach or if it was Ethan. I think it was Ethan who was getting so – it was Ethan getting so angry at people. I feel the same way of, like, if you are not in this business to make money, then you're not in this business to satisfy customers. And if you're not in this business to satisfy customers, get the fuck out of our business, because we don't want our customers to have that kind of experience. You know, you don't have to spend all your money with me. You should. Me and RT Bear. No, forget RT Bear. Me and on SOS books. But no, like, spend it, but get value for your money and be satisfied, and you deserve that if you're a customer. We're not trying to make money off these books. Well, Kickstarter was trying to make money before they fired you. This is what the fuck she's working on. This was her project. Why should creators participate? Well, they're getting free licensing fees from Kickstarter. Kickstarter would not write a check. What were you saying, Chimera?
Oh, I was just going to say, I'm more surprised they actually fired her, because I thought they were all retarded, but apparently they have.
They are
brains.
severely retarded, but the thing is they were operating at some kind of a loss, or I would guess they were operating at some kind of a loss. They laid off 40% to 50% of their employees, including her. When you lay off 40 to 50% of your employees, it's within a hair of going out of business. It's severe. It's so severe to do that. You know, it's not like, well, they didn't lay off 80% of their employees. A company of this size, and it's not a gigantic company, but they had like 100 or 200 people, 40 people out of, let's say 100 people. That's a lot of people. You know, she's outreach. So if her job was outreach for the comic book platform, this is what outreach is to them. Like, she's supposed to be contacting DC and saying, listen, we need to do a Batman Kickstarter. It would be an important thing. And if you want to give proceeds to charity, fucking do proceeds to charity. If you really have to do that, you should do it as a profit. But, you know, we want to do a deal with Marvel. We want to do a deal with a movie studio or something. Like, bring in we were reaching out to Ethan Van Sciver and begging him to do Cyber Frog on Kickstarter. Begging him. That's what they should be doing. But because they have her running this place for 2 years, now they've lost all the momentum. And they talk about some numbers in the article. It's in my video. This is so stupid. This is just, okay, quickly. She's saying here, I also want comic readers to know that you can say this as a comic reader. I support diverse creators. I support indie creators. But where they are now, hustling and creating without waiting for them to get a deal with a publisher. You can support their Patreon, support their Kickstarters. It's a way to put your money where your mouth is. So if you're stupid enough to say, I support diverse creators, as opposed to I support good creators or creators who produce work that I like, because the customer is always right. If you support LGBTQ, for example, they're on Kickstarter. Maybe they only have 100 backers, but they have an amazing story. What's amazing? Because it's that genre? It's frightening. It's just frightening. Look at this. Comics Twitter can be kind of a cesspool. Well, this wasn't just...
Well, I can agree with that a little bit.
Yes, it can be because of them, not because of us. So stupid. It's just so colossally stupid.
There's only so long you can deny reality before it catches up to you. Like, they've been denying reality, but
Silicon Valley, like, she started a whole stupid union. This is what she did over 2 years. Everything of like, well, I'm going to take care of my friends. I'm going to take care of creators I like that are pushing out the propaganda that make me feel important. I'm not going to take it. This is also like not taking responsibility for anything. Like, no results. None. Like, like, listen, you know what? It's your quarterly review. I mean, what do you say? Do you ever work for a company that has a quarterly review? Chimera, have you been through that?
Yes.
So they talk to you about what you've been doing wrong and what they caught you doing in the elevator on video? No. Well, they sit down.
Actually, a few months ago, I got a good bonus and a raise. So actually, I was doing well.
Through all the comics. Yeah, you seem like a responsible guy.
Yeah.
Not to denigrate you in any way, but you do seem responsible. But I'm sure you're cool and wild as well. But no one sits down with her, or no one ever sat down with her and said, look, we need your comics outreach. We want to see more projects. We want to see more revenue. We want to see comic people taking Kickstarter as a platform seriously. We don't want to see Marvel publishing millions of dollars worth of comics and not considering crowdfunding as if it was a real thing. There are independent companies too, like IDW. My friend Jim Salakrup's company, Paper Cuts, has some cool licenses. They have the Smurfs. She could have reached out to Paper Cuts and said, listen, I want to do a special crowdfunded Smurfs comic with you guys. And, let's play it up together. We'll feature it on the site. None of that accountability of like, you're supposed to be outreach. What the hell have you brought into the company?
Well, they are outreach. They kick out the Kickstarters they don't like.
They kick, right. We block out the bad people, the guys who would make money.
Why do they always look like men? Even the women look like men.
I don't know.
That's
either. Not my kind of man or woman. I don't know what her deal is, but so they did like 16 million. This is not worded properly or edited properly, but they imply that they did 16 million in a year in their comic platform, and that was last year. That's kind of what's implied, because he's asking here, the interviewer is saying, I'm sure a lot of smaller publishers would be very happy with $16 million. What do you need to do to keep that momentum going? He's talking about numbers, right? Numbers. And she goes, well, to ensure a healthy ecosystem, we want to raise more awareness among comic readers about the breadth and depth of Kickstarter comic projects. For example, readers from diverse backgrounds that don't always see themselves in stories. Same with creators. Can you imagine this is where, like, you sit in front of a business person and they say to you, like, all right, look, 16 million is not bad. It's not fantastic. Because let's remember, Comicsgate did 5 million over 2 years. And like, that's pretty good. And that wasn't even all of Indiegogo. So, and Ethan this year so far has sold more than $1 million worth of Frog comics just this year. He sold between Wreck Planet was 850,000 and then more than 160,000 or something like that out of Unforgettable Tales. So Ethan himself is doing a chunk of the business of all of the projects of Kickstarter. And this year, probably a lot more. But Comicsgate so far this year as well is doing like, 2.3 million retail by now as well. So how do you keep that momentum going? The answer is by trying to pretend that diverse creators don't see themselves in comics. And so if we make comics with diverse creators, then somehow that turns out to profit. No. Why is Kickstarter so appealing for diverse creators and fans? I mean, it just goes on. Just the last thing on her. She did a pitch.
She's like every stereotype put together. Woman, blue hair, tattoos, doesn't want to make money, has terrible ideas, runs the company in the ground.
She's also the kind of person that's just like, oh, by the way, I've decided to have a baby with my significant whatever. She's
Really?
that kind of, yeah, I have decided. No, she's that, she could do that. And then she would take like maternity leave and like still not do her job. I mean, there's nothing wrong with women taking maternity leave. It's just like when you're there at the company, you've got to perform. Women can be amazing managers and amazing workers. My best people that have had working for me, managing things, have been women in my telemarketing business, particularly, and they just get the job done. But gender is not enough to be successful. It's just terrible. Oh, there's something where she explains the great thing about Kickstarter is if you're pitching your project and a publisher is short-sighted. So like there's a short-sighted. All right, let's just look at her stupid vision for Kickstarter, which isn't going to work anymore.
Well, I mean, it's like Heather Antos. It's just a stereotype. They run the business on the ground, they get fired, and then they wonder why they got fired. It's amazing.
My vision for this is her vision for Kickstarter. Ooh. And it's perhaps no longer valid. Maybe she'll start her own platform with diverse creators and cost people more millions of dollars. My vision for Kickstarter and society, not just Kickstarter and society, is to stop looking up toward the giants and start looking at each other at eye level. All these media conglomerates, they put out amazing works. All of them do. They're all amazing. They're just amazing. But at the same time, we're never going to get diverse and marginalized creators through the door if we don't support them where they are now. Well, why would this be a priority to get diverse and marginalized creators if they ever was such a thing? Why would that be a priority to get them through any doors? Who cares? People love comics. Whether they're this gender or that color or this whatever, it doesn't matter. Or they were beaten as a child or they were loved as a child. They just like comics or they don't. A lot of them aren't friends with producers. They don't move to LA, the diverse creators, okay? They're just hustling. If we neglect the people around us and just throw money at conglomerates that don't really need our money, we'll lose a lot of amazing talent and make short-sighted decisions that don't have the community's benefit in mind. What community benefit? Which community is she talking about? Not the comics community. To me, the solution to capitalism, oh my God. What do you mean the solution to capitalism? What the fuck is wrong with this girl? I got to get an interview with her. If anybody knows her, I can't stand her. I wouldn't be able to talk to her. To her, the solution to capitalism is a problem. I guess it's a problem for her now. She got 4 months severance, this piece of garbage. 4 months severance and a right to recall for a year, which I didn't even know what that was. We had to look it up. A right to recall means if they hire anyone else for her outreach position for the comics category, it's supposed to be her for 12 months. She has a right to go back to that job. 4 months severance. So the solution to capitalism is to throw all your money away. No. And overconsumption. Capitalism is overconsumption. So buying a stupid like $25 Kickstarter book to support some diverse creator who may or may not even be good, and they generally aren't because they're just focused on being diverse more than they are being talented and merit-oriented, producing good work. So, okay, it is don't overconsume. Don't give in to IP machines, okay? I love to inspire a slower mode of consumption. Get in on the creative process of a work rather than just the finished process. Okay, there's value to the journey. So is it any wonder why when they had some financial problems, this is one of the first people that gets thrown out the door? Because if she thinks that it's a problem, like she's supposed to be selling stuff. So she's not supposed to be anti-capitalism. She's also not supposed to be, quote, into banning overconsumption. Anything that you buy on Kickstarter is overconsumption. You don't need any of that stuff.
Well, I'm kind of surprised the way Kickstarter's run. I'm surprised they didn't just give her a promotion.
They must have had an investor that was just like, listen, this is fucking outrageous. Get out of here.
It was the union thing. I think that was the last straw.
You think?
Yeah.
They're just trying to make money, and there she is starting a union to get extra pay and extra benefits. Like, perhaps you're not entitled to them. Solution to capitalism works for a crowdfunding company and demands severance and rights to recall. Unbelievable. All right. Let's rock and roll. This has been a phenomenal stream. I'm glad I found out what a Chimera was, but I'm still going to call you Chimera whenever possible. The chat has been amazing. Thanks for hanging with us, guys. Yeah, outreach. I did a video on this if you want to hear me yelling more about it earlier today. It was interesting, and your feedback on this was appreciated, Chimera. I'd love to have you on again. We can certainly talk about your project, but we can rip up articles together and have some fun. Eric, always a pleasure to have you, my friend. Problem solved. Exactly. Problem solved, Kami. Eric is hardcore. He just seems like a nice guy. I didn't realize that. Yeah, her problem with capitalism got solved. Get her out of the system. Everybody back SOS. The link is in the description. You can also back College of the Dead too. I'm going to be shipping in June. Chimera is shipping in August. Everything is awesome. You guys are amazing. Go ahead and make sure you support Comicsgate creators. We will see you again soon. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Chimera, a pleasure to have you, my friend.
Sure thing. Thanks for having me.
See you again soon, guys.
See you.